All right. Hi, everybody. We're so thrilled to have you join us online today, and to our presenters and our firm representatives, as well as Ravesha. Very warm welcome to you guys. So we're going to kick off now with our presentations. And our very first speaker to kick us off today is Tashveer. Now, Tashveer is from a company called Ninian and Lester Clothing. He started working in the company in 2015 as a layer by machine. And a year later, he became qualified as a supervisor. Now, when we asked Tashveer what his favorite thing about the course was, he said that it was very quick and easy to use the online system, and he actually persevered and completed the course within 3 weeks. Okay, so that's simple and easy to use. So can we put our hands together, guys, to welcome Tashveer as he presents the benefits of waste reduction.
Okay, so my presentation is based on benefits of waste reduction. As you can see, I made sure I use the same shirt just to make sure that it's me. Okay, so thank you, Chairman, for the introduction. I started in Ninian Lester in 2015. I'm in the company for 7 years now as a qualified supervisor. And I have been doing many other courses. So I was introduced to the TLDP course, which is absolutely amazing. I've never had an opportunity to work with an online course or online platform. It's quick, easy, and simple to work with. Okay, so the problem that we had, or I had in my department, was binding. For those who do not know what a binding is, I'm going to give you a small example. Ladies' underwear, in the side where your leg is, that is a binding. You'll see an extra layer of fabric that covers an elastic. So the extra piece of fabric is called binding. Also for the guys' t-shirts, our collars, that's also referred to as binding. So the problem that we had was we had extra fabric that was in the corner of the binding room, which is unnecessary and it's just wasted in the corner. So looking at that, it's the company's assets that's just being wasted, and that's money that's also down the drain. So if we use an example of, as you can see on the presentation, 1 meter of fabric is 57 Rand 72 cents. Multiplied by the amount of fabric that's just dumped in the corner is 122 meters. Multiplied to getting over 7,000 Rand of fabric that's just thrown away. Sorry, that's just thrown away. Next, please. So in order to solve this, I have to develop a team. Of course, the guys that I'm working with, which will be the binding cutters. As you can see on my right is the 3 guys that works in the binding room. And on the left-hand side is the actual layers, the guys who lay the job and the guys who pull the fabric for the binding to be cut with the supervisor of the cutting room. So in order to work with this, with the TLDP course, we have many problem-solving techniques that we can work with and help us to do this, get through to the root cause. So my team and I use the fishbone problem-solving method to identify the likely cause of the problem. We thereafter use the 5 whys to determine the root cause of the problem. The root cause is the layer did not know how to use a formula and calculate the fabric requirements. Yes, please. So just once again, just to rephrase on the actual problem, the layer has not been trained on how to calculate the binding requirement. This resulted in extra fabric being pulled, wasted, and cost to the company. Something simple as just not knowing a formula actually resulted in so much of wastage. So the solution was I got the cutting room supervisor, Neville, to be with me, and he actually trained the layers to how to calculate and find out how much of binding does need to be pulled instead of having excess fabric being wasted. So the outcomes of the project is, as you can see on the board here, before and after. Before, there's just fabric that's just dumped in the corner. Now we have a clear space with the fabric wrapped neatly and also returned back into stock. So that's 7,000 Rand worth of fabric that's just thrown in the corner. It's not wasted. It's returned back to the company. And yes, it's back to the company as a profit. And thereafter, after the investigations, we have a clean workspace area which improves the success into the company and also reduce of wastage. So my learning experience in the TLDP course, it is quick, easy, exciting to work with. The online platform, the presentations, also Lino, the cute, the cute mascot of the TLDP course, is entertaining, it's exciting. And you have the freedom to pause, play, rewind. If you don't understand something, it's not like a facilitator actually standing and just telling you and you just must it and write it. So you can just pause, go back, and it's good. It's nice to learn this, with this online platform. I would highly recommend it to anyone, that's for sure. So the top 3 learnings of the course for me was the Tim Woods, the 8 ways, 6S, and the different types of problem-solving techniques. The TLDP has had a great impact in my life within the company and also with me growing with the company and as an individual as well. The fact that I'm standing here will speak for itself. So yes, the line was done by me. This last line at the bottom. A clear, clean company saves costs. Yes, please. And I'd like to thank everyone for your attention, BMA for this platform, for me being here, Penny, my mentor, for everything, for growing me from the time I started in the company, being a supervisor, growing with different causes. Portia Solution, my manager as well, for always being supportive. My wife, of course, and my parents, and everyone for your attention. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Tashvir. Now, before Tashvir goes, do we have any questions for him? Any questions from the group online? If you have any questions, please just pop it on the chat for us, and we can get Tashvir to answer those questions. I'm going to give it about 3 more seconds. Any questions from you guys?
Yes. Hi.
It was very intriguing what you have to say about combining the wastages and how you save. I would like to find out. Okay. I'm glad that you've made such a huge saving to the company, because I find that in many manufacturing plants you find binding just being thrown in a corner, and then when it's wound down into binding in different measurements, we find that there's always extras as well. After you've finished an order, there's extra binding left over as well, besides the fabric that you use for it. So if I look at it now, what is it that you would do with an order when the binding is already wound down, cut into the different measurements that you need? Now, when you're left with a few rolls at the end of it, extras, what would you do with that?
Okay, that is a good question. So basically, we have records of each docket. We have a system, documentation, and everything. So I have a docket number the way you can always trace back, be it whether the docket is completed, halfway done, wherever it is. So we'll take that docket number, you go back, you look at the picking list of the fabric. So we'll have a specific die lot. Now we'll have that die lot, we'll record it. And looking at future dockets coming, for example, say it's a white fabric docket. Okay, let's use a color because white is common. A purple docket. So it's not common, but we do have extra binding that's just kept and dumped in a random corner. What you can do is you take a piece of paper or type it out, have the docket number written down in case for the future for reference, write down the die lot number, the amount of kgs that's cut already, and when you do have a future docket coming to you, you can just use that binding for this docket and return the fabric that should be pulled for binding back into the system. So that also saves costs. Is any other? Sure.
I think Zoraida, after Tashvir did his project, what we're finding is that there is a lot less of that extra binding lying around. So it's not necessary to put it back into stock, because the outcome was that the binding is now being cut according to a precise calculation which wasn't being used before. So that has reduced the amount of extra, and the number of shortages, am I right, Sashvia? So it's addressed both issues that previously occurred, and they are coming a lot closer to cutting the exact required amount.
Thank you. We have one question from the online audience as well. Tashvia is quite a tricky one unless you've done the calculations. How much money do you think your company has saved through this project? Thank you.
Like in total in history.
Yeah, you've got a microphone.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's hard to say because from the time the project was done until now, it was a good couple of months back.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't really give you an actual figure, but a rough estimate for, like this was just one, it was multiple dockers that was calculated with the amount of fabric that was just kept in the corner. So it accumulated. I would assume the 7,000 Rand that was saved was probably a week's worth of work. So
Wow.
Maybe,
About 7,000 Rand a week.
probably yes. So you look at it, it's what, 28,000 a month? Probably. About a rough estimate, 28,000 Rand.
That's phenomenal. Jeez, well done. That's
Thank you.
excellent. Okay.